Hi, welcome back. Di, we're here.
We are
With Dubster Dive, the series where we talk about something's English dub. And we're here with the original Bastard. Not to be confused with the remake coming up in about a week's time.
Oh, you mean the remake that actually uses the full title, unlike this, which just uses Bastard?
Yeah, gonna be honest, I've always heard of this show, never watched it before now. I mean, when you first look at the title and you know nothing about it, what are you supposed to think?
You're supposed to think, man, my character in Soul Calibur said that a lot for some reason.
What do you want, you bastard? My OC and SC3 always said that.
I don't know how you managed that. Alright, because you wanted your character to look like an edgelord and have spiky armor.
'Cause it's awesome! But yeah, so Bastard, or heavy metal dark fantasy. I almost said dark metal heavy fantasy. Sure y'all could guess by the title, is very fantasy themed. You know how this last decade was the era of isekais for anime? Yeah, the 90s was the era of fantasy series. Slayers, the Berserk anime came out then, this, Record of Lotus War, and about 15 million other series that no one talks about, probably because they sucked or got buried.
Yeah.
Take your pick.
Yeah. Now you can't have a fantasy show without being a fucking isekai.
Yeah, man, if you want them without the isekai shit, just go back to the 90s era. You can't
or just play a Souls game.
A Berserk game? What? People meme that Elden Ring is the best Berserk game we've ever had.
Yeah, you can even throw everyone's favorite character off a cliff, even if it's a costume only.
Don't worry, we'll get to the other fantasy shows eventually.
Which is your fantasy.
But yeah. So, as far as Bastard goes, let's take a look at the original OVAs and see what they were all about. Firstly, I have to say the mangaka is probably now my new best friend after looking into him more. So, his name was Kazushi Higiwara, or Hagiwara, who got his start as an assistant working on hentai manga. That's fucking awesome. I don't care what you say, Dai. He even did doujins on DOA, Virtua Fighter, and other Capcom fighting game franchises, okay? I want to see his DOA doujins.
Oh, yeah, you want to see his core values? Say no more.
Hey, he even went on to design some of the armors for FF11. But yeah. As far as Bastard goes, it was a manga that started in 1988 and currently has 27 volumes. I don't know how far the remake is going to go, but this anime clearly only covered, I guess, like the first major arc from what we could tell.
For the first two at best.
Yeah.
And clearly skipped over a lot of stuff in the process.
Yeah, but never felt lost during it. As you could tell with the title, yeah, Kazushi's a huge fan of heavy metal and D&D. In fact, a lot of this was based on shit that he did in his D&D campaigns or something like that. And as far as the heavy metal love, well, the meme name I've seen a couple of people call this is JoJo if it were done by a metalhead instead, and you're going to see that real quick when we get to the show's breakdown and the characters and the kingdoms. All the metal references. But yeah, the OVAs would air in 1992 and 1993, making this the 30th anniversary of Bastard Die. See, we lined it up perfectly. And they were done by AIC. Record of Lotus War, Haganai, Day to Live Season 1. Why was every season of that show done by a different studio?
Because the second one went under mid-production.
That might have done it. As far as the dub distributor, if you're wondering why it's the old ones out of print, fucking Geneon.
The classic.
Well, they would release the dub in 1998. from Studio Animes, which are the people behind Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star, Code Geass, Trigon, basically everything important. And The Bouncer! Clearly their best dub of all time.
Their magnum opus.
But before we get to that, let's get to what the show's about. So, it's typical fantasy era, where there are 4 kingdoms. And these kingdoms' names are amazing. So, you have, Metaracana in this dub, which is supposed to be Metallicana, obviously, guys, come on. Judas, Iron Maidon, and my personal favorite, Waito Snakey. What the fuck? He couldn't come up with anything better for White Snake.
He clearly likes White Snake, because that's not the only reference to them.
Well, our main antagonists are the 4 Dark Lords of Havoc, who are trying to resurrect the evil god, Anslasax, or Ansrasax. Yeah, the L's and R's are kind of fucked on this one, which is obviously, again, a reference to Anthrax. So again, metal references. There's a lot of those.
No,
well, it turns out that...
funny. I mean, what?
Yeah. So the 4 Dark Lords turn their attention towards Metaracana. I know it's Metallicana, but we're going to call it Metaracana because the dub for here did. Might as well be consistent with it. And, yeah. Our main characters are Yoko and a young boy named Luce. And Luce happens to have the most powerful wizard's soul sealed within inside of him, named Dark Schneider. And Dark Schneider's spirit is awakened anytime he gets a kiss from a virgin, i.e. Yoko and a couple of other females in the show too, I guess.
Jay Snyder?
Yes, Dan fucking Green. No. I mean, funnily enough, the closest thing I could compare it to, because they share a body like this, would be, what, Yugi and the Pharaoh?
Yeah.
And Dark Schneider is definitely inspired by the typical over-the-top 80s action heroes, you know, that wants to sleep with all the women he can, and he's a badass that talks down to everyone in the room.
Is he really an action hero, or is he just a typical member of a band?
Dude, he's fucking awesome! But, oh, should mention, Dark Schneider is named after former Accept guitarist Dirk Schneider. Yeah, I think you guys could see what he went for here. It literally is JoJo, but instead metal.
That's just how metal he is.
But yeah. And they have to summon forth Dark Schneider, even though he was, in 400 years back, a conqueror of kingdoms that left nothing but destruction in his wake. Because otherwise, they're going to get conquered by the 4 Dark Lords of Havoc. Which I keep thinking of the stupid Mortal Kombat character whenever they said that.
Yeah, but he's dead.
I know. And that's basically the gist of it. They have to try convincing Dark Schneider to help them out because he's a dick and wants his own ambitions. Basically, he wants to be the strongest in the world and have all the women that he thinks are sexy. He says that on numerous occasions. That's basically it. There's other characters, too, in their own stuff. We'll get to that when we get to each voice actor who's with them. But first, the animation die. How was it?
Yes. Sadly better than some of the shovelware schlock we get today.
That's surprising, because back in the era it came out in, there was a lot of budget shit going on with animation, so... Like, I'm sure you heard some of
the budget shit is way more noticeable, especially the bland, lifeless brown backgrounds in a lot of shows.
Yeah, because everyone knows, like, some of the most famous anime from that era suffered from it. Berserk and Avon Jellyfish in particular. They had to work around their really bad budgets.
Yeah, but you see, you can make up for that by actually having good writing, or a good adaptation at this point. Looking at you, Shield Hero Season 2.
That hurts me so much. As far as the soundtrack goes, alright, I'm gonna be honest, just watching the trailer alone for the remake, I think the remake nailed it much more of what Kazushi was going for. This OST isn't bad, but it does fit the fantasy vibe.
90s.
It fits the fantasy vibe, but again, it's called heavy metal dark fantasy.
There's like one that goes with the vibe it's going for.
But yeah, for the most part, it's just your average fantasy OST that you'd get like in a D&D type anime.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Exactly. But now, Dai, it's time for the reason this called Dubster Dive. The ADR directing was done by Kevin Seymour, who ADR directed Code Geass, Akira, don't ask me which dub, there's like 3 dubs for that damn thing, and Big O.
Just say all of them, that way you can be right and wrong at the same time.
It also says he did Final Fantasy X. I hope that is true, because that means he's responsible for the Titus laugh. What?
People seem to misunderstand the Titus laugh.
They do, because they see the scene out of context. Guys, if you see the scene in context, you'll understand it much better. Titus is literally doing that laugh just to be a dick. He's doing it to be a smartass. But yeah, as far as the script, it was done by Andrew Ebert and Neil Nadelman. 2 people I've never heard of, and I don't know if we'll ever cover them again at this point. I have no idea. I mean, the script was fine. Had a lot of the 90s over-the-top shit you'd expect. It was fun. You know, that's the thing. This anime was fun to watch. Don't you miss that? Where every show you got was some sort of experience.
Yeah. Now you're lucky to experience anything other than mild boredom.
Well, first, out of the main characters, we have Dark Schneider, or as for some reason the wiki says it's DS for short. I don't think I ever heard anyone call him that at all in this show.
See, I told you, go play Dark Souls.
I heard Darsh, never DS. And, yeah, he's voiced by Darren Norris, who's B.O.B. or Bob from Totally Spies, or Mario and Lloyd's from Tiger and Bunny, or, probably gonna butcher this one, Peros the Third from Dot Hack GU. Any Dot Hack fan, if I pronounce that wrong, will want to punch me, I'm sure. I haven't seen that series yet, man, I'm sorry, I haven't played it. But, yeah, man, Darren Norris fucking nailed this particular role. He has to ham it up so much and be so over-the-top stupid. It's great. And some of the shit he says. You made me draw blood. Just for that. And, the spells he has to cast, too. Which a lot of them are just either lyrics to Black Sabbath songs or names of Black Sabbath albums. I really hope I hope they keep all the references in the remake. But yeah, man, I thought Darren Norris did great. Again, you can tell this dub is 90s as hell with how over the top it is, but I prefer overacting, over the top silliness to either the automated shit or the underacting that we get a lot of times now. Alright. Well, I guess next, unless you have something else to add about Dark Schneider Dai, and how sexy you think he is with his white hair.
That's racist.
Was that the thing, by the way? Just having people that are cool with white hair in that era?
Yeah.
Even fucking Dante fell into that in DMC.
Yeah.
But alright, moving on. Luce. That's Dark Schneider's younger, the soul he's inhabiting, basically, the body he's inhabiting. Or Lucien, I think is what they're going by in the remake. Probably
what it was supposed to go by, but
fuck it, they call him Luce here.
Somewhere.
Well, He's voiced by Brienne Siddall, who we've covered here before as Jim from Outlaw Star, Little Goku from GT Final Bout.
Not super little Goku.
And Minakichi from Onimusha Dawn of Dreams, which we have been uploading to our channel right now. You should all go check it out. And oh my god, she actually sounds much better here than she did in that Bleach filler arc. I'm gonna keep coming back to that because Jesus, that arc was poorly directed.
Common staples everywhere. No one left alive.
People who haven't seen our vid aren't gonna get the reference.
Because then they should go watch.
But yeah. And Luce, I guess we're gonna call him that for the rest of this for consistency. I mean, he means well. He's also kind of an idiot.
Yeah.
Showing up to Yoko and he's like, hey, look, I washed your panties for you. Wait, why are you getting mad at me? What was did I do something wrong? Was I not supposed to touch your underwear or something? Yeah, he's naive, stupid. But at least he's it in the endearing way instead of the annoying way like Super Goku. But yeah. And yeah, I don't know. Seeing him in Dark Schneider, there were a couple of moments where you could see that they were having at odds with their personality, where he was scared and Dark Schneider wasn't and wanted to come out or whatever. I hope we get more of that in the remake. After him, though, we have Yoko, the main female. Voiced by Wendy Lee, because if it's a 90s dub out of LA, it's gonna have Wendy Lee. You all know Wendy Lee, Blanc from Neptunia franchise, that's Best Girl Die, right? Right?
Yeah, sure.
Xianghua from Soul Calibur, and I think she's always been Xianghua.
Since Soul Calibur 2.
And the new voice of Conan in Case Closed, which is a series I've somehow not seen anything of to this day. I really should fix that at some point. And guys, it's Wendy Lee. You know what to expect. Even 24 years ago, I mean, there's a reason she's considered a legend. Come on. She's one of the ones that also still sounds really good in this dub. And Yoko's your typical, you know, guess you could call it hot-blooded, angsty female protag. She's also proactive. Even when she's captured, she's still fighting back. So she doesn't come across like just another damsel in distress, at least to me. Don't swear to him, don't swear to me.
From the reboot trailer, they seem to change her personality, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, because this series does have a little bit of slapstick humor every now and again, but the trailers seem to focus, for the remake, focus on the seriousness of it, because Yoko is also a bit slapstick with some of the skits they do with her. Especially when she hits someone for being a bit pervy. Dark Schneider. Yeah, we should mention Dark Schneider's fucking massive pervo. But after her, we've got the 4 Dark Lords of Havoc. First, we have Ninja Master Gaara. I thought Liam O'Brien too, it's okay, but no, in this, he's Steve Blum. You gonna know, Sub-Zero from MKX and 11. Which means this was the first time he voiced a Lin Kuei.
He's not a ninja, he is Lin Q.
He's also Baraka and Reptile in MK10 and 11. Or Spike and Cowboy Bebop, I guess. And, yeah. I mean, come on, he's a ninja! And it's Steve Blum doing his typical Steve Blum thing.
Yeah. I mean, don't forget, he also voiced a ninja lizard.
When the fuck did he do that?
Reptile.
Oh, well, I didn't mention Reptile and Baraka. I thought you were talking about something else, so I was so confused for a second.
Reptile's technically a ninja. Gotta love palette swaps.
But don't you want him to do the ninja art?
Yeah. Okay, so what you're saying is Baraka and Reptile are the same person. Because you can never see them in the same room in modern NetherRealm games.
Yes. But yeah, Steve Blum does good. After him, we have Thunder Empress Arceus Nay, who's apparently another reference to White Snake, though I don't follow that band like that, so...
It's apparently what the wiki said, so... Being told anyone can edit that, take it as air quotes.
It probably is, I don't know. And she's voiced by Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, who's typecasted as her usual roles. You all know her, Tsubaki from God Eater, Major Matoka from Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex.
Why do you keep going back to God Eater? I don't, half the people watching this have even played it.
That's not true. Some people have. It has a cult following, and as far as Ghost in the Shell, I mean, it's Ghost in the Shell. And that's the easiest one to go to, is Ghost in the Shell. But yeah, she's typecasted here. You know what to expect. She is a woman that can fuck up anyone who's really powerful and uses thunder. Speaking of thunder, I wonder if we're going to have Raiden show up later on this cast list die.
Oh, the god of useless himself?
Yeah, but not yet, because next we have Lord Kalsu, who really doesn't do much in this OVA series. Which, actually, what the fuck is he supposed to even be? What's his gimmick?
Yes.
Do we even find out?
No.
Because, yeah, Thunder Empress, self-explanatory. You all could guess what she is. Master Ninja, you all, I would hope, know what he is. But Lord Kalsu, I have no fucking clue. Well, he's voiced by Richard Cancino. Kenshin from Rurouni Kenshin. Alfred from the Dark Side Chronicles. But most importantly of all, he's Ryu from Street Fighter Alpha Generations, the movie.
That just sounds weird.
Hey man, we're gonna do a Street Fighter retrospective soon, because SF6 is coming up, 35th anniversary.
I mean, he summoned a golem, but we don't know what else he does.
I mean, with him being Kenshin,
I saw not a golem, a Cyclops, who just happened to be a golem.
I just keep thinking of him being like a samurai type, with him being voiced by Kenshin. I can't help it.
Also, since this was visual, speaking of Gara, he just happens to use a big ass sword. Huh, I wonder if he ever voiced a ninja that uses a big ass sword before.
No one's heard of Zabuza.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, Gara's basically like, I guess, pseudo-prototype Zabuza for Steve Blum, if you wanted that. So there you go. You get that. Who the fuck doesn't like Zabuza? As far as the last of the four lords, Lord Abigail. Fuck you, Street Fighter V. I can't take this character seriously now, even though he's the leader of the big four. Car. Yeah, you could tell, like, he's probably the leader of the four. He's the one that seems to come up with all the shit, all the strategies and everything. And yeah, he's voiced by Richard Epcar. Old Joseph. Oh my god! And there's Raiden from the NetherRealm era. As well as Joker from the NetherRealm era, I guess. Which, why don't people comment on his Joker more often? His Joker's not that bad.
It was since MK versus DC, I'm pretty sure.
With Raiden? Or with both?
I'm pretty, it was Joker with that.
Yeah, I know it was Raiden versus DC also. So that's when he first started. Because that was when him and Patrick Stites started as those characters.
Yep.
Though they only kept one, MK11.
Yeah, except, but Patrick Stites, it didn't sound stereotypical enough. But Steve, he sounds perfectly Chinese. Fuck you, NetherRealm.
Anyway, Richard Epcar does a really good job sounding imposing and intimidating, because this is a dude you're supposed to take seriously, even though I kept laughing when they said his name, because, again, fuck SF5. But yeah. And what's his gimmick? I mean, he seems to be the spellcaster of the group, I guess. Because he actually fought.
I mean, he did that fingernail parasite curse thing.
Yeah, so he casts a spell on
Cyclops Golem.
Yeah, he casts a spell on someone where he basically put a fingernail inside them, and if they disobey him in any way or even have the thought of betraying him, the fingernail will first turn purple and then it'll turn bright red, and their body will be destroyed from the inside, basically. I mean, they claim you'll be turned into a toad, but you guys get the implication. It means you're gonna get murked.
Fingernail parasite. That's definitely a series of words.
Hey man, that's something you would see in a D&D campaign. I actually really like it. The show does do a really good job giving you that fantasy feel.
Which is your fantasy?
I actually like the 4 Lords of Havoc. All 4 of them seem different enough, and they're all believable as antagonists, even in this 90s dub.
You only really get much on the first 3.
Yeah, on 3 out of 4 of them.
The other one just spends the time being in the background, being brooding.
Yeah, you can tell what type of one he is. And I'm actually more interested to find out more about him, because he seems like, oh, he's going to be the cool one, isn't he? I mean, you hear about his exploits taking down hundreds of soldiers off screen and shit, and it's done in the way to hype him up, so I hope we're not disappointed when we get to him in the remake. But yeah, back to this. Next character, Great Priest Geo, who's Yoko's father. And he's typical old man coon. Hey, it's voiced by someone we've never covered here before. That's cool. He's voiced by Simon Prescott, who's Angel Eyes in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Okay.
I was not expecting that, but here we are. And Dr. Lofton from Metropolis, another classic anime movie I haven't seen yet. But yeah. Fucking Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Anita's fine, I guess. Again, this character is just typical old man coon who wants to do right by his daughter and his kingdom.
And he, like, fucks off after, like, the first 2 episodes.
He cameo sandwiches throughout the rest of it. But yeah. After him is Princess Sheila. Oh, Sheila, mate! I thought that the whole time they said her name. I'm sorry. She's the princess of Medarikana. And, again, you all know what to expect. Typical princessy role. Although, unlike the one that I just covered in Amagi Brilliant Park, this one isn't boring, blank slate with no personality. Sheila is actually proactive and even tries helping out Dark Schneider in the beginning. Even trying to get involved in some of the fights. And she's voiced by Bridget Hoffman. Speaking of the bouncer, she's Dominique. You all know, the toaster waifu, right, Dai? Who doesn't waifu a toaster? And Shinobu from Love Hina, the granddaddy of Ecchi Harem. Well, one of the granddaddies, I guess. And, yeah, she does fine, I guess. The problem is that Sheila isn't given as much to work with, so it's, again, typical princess coon. So,
excuse me, princess.
Exactly. And Bridget Hoffman, you can tell, isn't as seasoned here as she would become a couple of years later, like in 0102, which is when she, I feel, really started hitting her stride with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But only a couple of people left worth mentioning. First, we have Prince... What?
But unlike her, none of them are in the Evil Dead.
That is really true, actually. But next we have Sheila's brother, the Prince of Medarikana, Lars. Okay, that reference is just obvious. You're not even trying anymore, man.
Yeah.
I guess for those who don't know, Lars is one of the band members from Metallica. And he's voiced by Barry Steigler. Well, it was only a matter of time before we had a corpse on the dub. Yeah, he's unfortunately gone. But he's known as Alan from Lupin the Third Part 2, and Joey from Trigun, which that's getting a new anime next year. Can't wait to see it. But his most known role is Oolong from Dragon Ball Harmony Gold's dub for the first film.
Oh, so you're saying not only do we get an Oolong, but we also get a more relevant Bulma?
Yes.
Then Bulma number 87.
Exactly. I mean, hey, did you know Steve Blum was Goku in GT Final Bout?
Oh my god. Stop with Final Bout. Final Bout.
But yeah, as far as Lars goes, he's barely even fucking here in this adaptation, at least. I'm gonna hazard a guess in the remake he gets way more, because here, he's here for like 5 minutes, that's it. I only mention him because he's on the main cast list.
I'm pretty sure he had a collective of like 4 lines of dialogue.
Yeah, the next person, who's the last one we're going to be covering, has more than him. So, yeah, I can't really say anything about Steigler's performance, because it's like, he didn't even do anything.
He said a collective like 40 words, at best.
But next, we have an asshole in the room, you'll understand in a second. Count Diamond, which I'm pretty sure is a reference to King Diamond, the other, another metal group. And he's voiced by Kevin Seymour. I told you it was an asshole. He casted himself as an episodic villain. Yeah, he's a vampire.
Oh my god, it's a vampire.
He's Timothy from the Big O. Didn't he direct that show too? He casted himself again, the Madman.
Yeah.
Seriously, I need to watch Big O.
This time he morphs out.
He's also Zangief from SF2's film adaptation, the anime movie.
God, that's gonna just be fucking weird.
Dude, when we get to covering all the Street Fighter dub stuff, get ready. You are not going to be prepared for all the cast changes from each adaptation. Steve Blum voices Ken at one point. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, Tino's fine. Again, it's my favorite scene with him was when he was drinking the blood of one of the maidens from the church. He just slaps and goes, "You slut! I thought people of the church were supposed to be pure virgins, but you're not a virgin at all." It cracked me up. God damn it.
You're a hooker.
I hope they keep that in the remake. That line was great. But yeah. You could tell he had fun. That's the thing, man. Like, honestly, the ad voices and background characters are where you can tell this show, like the Walla, is 90s dubbed. Like, that's where it's dated the most. I feel the main characters are fine.
Yeah. We have the recurring captain character who's also another reference.
What's he a reference to? Oh, what is his name? Jobima, right? Jobina. Von Jobina. Yeah. Oh. I get it. Bon Jovi. I feel stupid. But yeah, the reason we're not mentioning him is because he's also only in, like, one scene. I'm pretty sure he gets more in the fucking thing, too, in the remake.
I mean, the captain's more prevalent than the fucking dad.
Yeah.
He shows up to job to the new person, tag of the current episode, and
that's it.
Somehow lives.
I feel stupid. I didn't get that reference right away. Like, oh, Bon fucking Jovi, of course. How'd I not see that?
Nazis. It always comes back to those.
Anyway. Maybe voiced by Peter Spellos, but again, he's also hardly here, so... yeah, dub was alright. Again, I'd say late 90s is when dubs really started coming into their own a lot more. And like I said, I'd take this dub any day over, like... Because you'd have, like, 40 dubbed anime a season. I'm exaggerating a little, but let's just say that. How many of them are honestly are you gonna remember, like, a year from now? Or even 3 years from now? Or whatever?
Yes.
Because the problem is that dubs today, I've said it before, none of them are god-awful except Platinum End and maybe a couple of other exceptions. But they're all not memorable either, because hardly any of them are stand out to an absurd degree. You'll find a couple here and there, but yeah. Whereas back in the late 90s, for better or worse, be it whether the dubs were hilariously bad, you could laugh at them, or over-the-top cheesy, You're gonna remember a dub from that period once you sit through it. But yeah. It's up to you guys to decide on which one you prefer in that situation. As far as it's worth watching the OG Bastard with the remake, don't know. The remake's not out yet. For all we know, it could be really shit. Which would be kind of awkward, wouldn't it?
You remember the first time?
But yeah, the remake is being done by Liden Films, who are doing the Kenshin remake. They did the Blade of the Immortal remake. For some reason, whenever it comes to remakes, they go to this studio. Why? But hey, they also did Kotaro Lives Alone, which that anime was really fucking good, so I'm sure this will be fine.
So unlike a lot of other studios, they at least have a track record of some quality.
Yeah, they did Arslan. So when it comes to fantasy stuff, they know their shit.
They just never finished Arslan.
Yeah, maybe they'll go back and do that at some point. I'd be cool with that. Actually, never mind. The main villain would be replaced. Fuck that. And he kind of makes that show. But yeah, back to Bastard. If y'all think it's Bastard worth watching, I'd say go back and watch it. It is a piece of anime history, or otaku history, I guess as people call it. And I had fun with it. I'm sure you did too.
It's only 6 episodes. You're not gonna waste your whole day on just typical 12-episode trash.
Yeah, and it was fun. It's one of those things that reminds you of, oh yeah, this is when everybody involved from every side, be it Japan and America, when they were localizing it or whatever, was having fun with it. You can tell, like, everyone just went all in there. It's like, fuck it, I'm either going to do a silly voice as this background character that people will laugh at, or I'm going to say this over-the-top stupid line that people are going to find funny. Like, if the goal was to make sure the audience was having fun watching it, I'd say they did a good job. Which, from what we could tell, like you said, the remake might be going in a serious direction. We'll see how that works.
Especially with Yoko's narration.
Yeah. I just hope they keep some of Dark Schneider's quirks, because again, his whole thing is he wants to be powerful so he can have any hot woman he wants. It's very simple motivation for him. So, but speaking of which, if you're wondering how you can watch Old Bastard, yeah, either look it up on eBay or look for the One Piece. That's all you really can do. I'm surprised Discotheque hasn't snagged this one up yet and put it out, since it does have a cult following and all.
They might, eventually.
So, the remake's dub trailer is out, so we could talk about that for just a quick second. Not going to list off who's in it, NDA and shit, and I am a dick, but I don't want to get anyone in potential trouble with that situation. So, we recognize a lot of people. Some replacements, honestly, I think are okay. Others are, I need to hear more of. And then others are, Jesus, why? So, I guess that's it. But we'll say this, I think KG Tang would have made a really good Dark Schneider. What, are you telling me he wouldn't?
He'll probably voice someone.
But yeah, guys. I guess that's it. Let us know what you all thought of Bastard. Because this one is just Bastard. I don't have to put Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy. That's only when we cover the remake, which we will cover when all 24, however many episodes are out. Covering one set now and then another set later when we know it's new 24 is just stupid. Unless it's a full retrospective, which this isn't.
Yeah, this isn't Tiger and Bunny. Get the fuck out of here.
But who is Best Girl, and why is the answer Sheila? What? What are you gonna say? It's Arshusne?
Yeah, sure.
Or are you gonna say it's Yoko?
Quiet.
What? I'm sure someone out there is gonna say Yoko. Yoko Littner, Gurren Lagann. I know you want to hit me now.
No, I'm sure someone will pierce you to the heavens.
Oh.
With a drill. Spoon.
Well, either way, glad to finally watch this one. Goku's actually been hounding me to watch this one for a while. I promised him we would once the remake was coming up. And then it was announced earlier this month, the remake coming June 30th. It's like, oh, well, fuck. Guess I gotta watch the OG now. So, guess it worked out.
They forced your hand.
Hey, man, I had fun. Sometimes it's good to, like, what are they? We need to watch way more 90s classic anime, because there's a lot out there we haven't seen yet. And I mean, if this is any indication, we've been missing out.
Yeah, just like you finally watched a G Gundam.
Exactly. And that was definitely an experience. As far as what's next, don't know yet. We'll find out eventually. Soon, maybe. But yeah.
Probably him suffering through more garbage.
I mean, Amagi wasn't garbage. It had wasted potential, but that was Chivalry. Chivalry was shit. Told you, man, Amagi was done by the Full Metal Panic light novel, dude, so that had some quality in it. But yeah. At the end of the day, I don't know if you should wait for the remake or not. I still think the original is worth having, especially because they have the different dubs and all. Going to be fun to compare the takes that these people have for these characters or whatever. But I guess that's it. Until next time, guys, thanks again so much for watching, and let us know what you thought of Bastard! Oh, I'm sorry, it's Bastard 2 exclamation marks, so you gotta go, BASTARD! For maximum silliness. And I guess we'll be back.
I'll make some silly noises.
And remember, when you're casting an evil spell to send someone into the fires of hell, say Ozzy at the very end of it as an incantation. What? That's what this show's taught me to do. Oh, that's the last thing I forgot to mention real quick. The filters they have on their mics when, you know they're doing the spells, I actually really like those. You know what I mean, right? The audio filters they have on.
Our filters today so garbage.
Yeah, like, I don't know, man. This was dubbed 24 years ago, and they put on this cool echo effect filter when they're casting the incantation spells or whatever to make it have that otherworldly sound or whatever to it, and it just sounds really fucking cool. Well, here's hoping the remake is good. I actually do hope it is. This is one I'm really glad I watched. Thank you, Goku, for allowing me to watch it. Glad I did. I'm sure you're glad you did too, Dai.
But one thing we can't compare is the OP, because this doesn't have any.
No, it just had an ending theme on a couple of the episodes.
Occasionally.
And it was 90s as hell, and I loved it.
It's like being back in Raccoon City. Wait, what?
Hey man, people say the 90s, like, the 90s up to the early 2000s was the best time to be an anime fan or a game fan, and I agree with both those sentiments. Those were when the best shit came out.
Yeah, now you have to scrounge for good games, or anime, for that matter.
Well, enough ranting. We've ranted enough. Go watch Bastard. We recommend. It's good. It's fun, over the top, stupid. What you'd want. Till next time, guys. Hope you have yourselves a great day. Let us know if you're hyped for the remake.